The baby dedication really has two halves to it. One, the parent's responsibility, and two, the church's responsibility in this situation. So what is a church's responsibility to their children? A church has the basic responsibility the same as the parents, but only in an assistant role. But they also have one added responsibility that we will add. A church must recognize the value and blessing of children. A church must recognize the value and blessing of children. Now, I did not include that in the parent's responsibility because it would be a hard-hearted parent indeed who didn't automatically already know that. A human parent automatically has this knowledge. Nobody has to tell you when they give you your kid, you need to value that kid. If they had to tell you that, there's something wrong. All right. Now, I know there are those people in the world today, but you would not expect to find them at a baby dedication. The church, though, needs to be reminded of this because children in a church means more than normal candy wrappers on the floor. It means more than normal commotion in the foyer. It means added expenses for events and supplies. It means that there has to be a nursery, and therefore there has to be nursery workers. It means there has to be multiple Sunday school classes, and that means multiple Sunday school teachers. And it's easy for a church to get comfortable and decide that they like not having the noise, or they like not having to sit in the nursery to watch kids during the service. And so they lose their value of children. And what happens is before long, it's not a problem at all because there's nobody has to work in the nursery because there aren't any kids in there anyway. And pretty soon, nobody has to teach Sunday school. Why? Because there aren't any kids in the Sunday school. There's nobody has to be in charge of junior church because there aren't any kids at that age bracket. Everybody gets to take it easy and are not inconvenienced. And what you find is a church that is at the point of extinction. A church has a responsibility to value the children that are in it. Church also needs to be sensitive to the needs of each family. Every family situation is different, and the situations are constantly changing, and we as a church have a responsibility to be a help however we can and wherever we need it. But the church also has the responsibility of assisting the parents in the three responsibilities, their main responsibilities as well. We need to teach Christ. A church has the responsibility to teach Christ. Now, here at the Adelphi, this takes place in a whole lot of ways. We have Sunday schools of all ages and junior church and Wednesday night kids club and the academy, the youth ministry and special events and all the normal activities of the church. We teach Christ. We need to be behind all of those things and be investing in them. We need to live Christ. I cannot overemphasize this. In fundamental churches across the country, the teaching of the Bible and the holding of truth has been pretty solid. But what's been lacking is the living of Christ. We've let our churches be reduced to a list of do's and don'ts and a bunch of dry beliefs. And what our kids really needed to see was Christ living in us. They needed to see the blessing and the benefit of a close personal walk with a very real God. Without this, our children will walk away from the church, and it is a problem of the greatest magnitude in America today. We must be a church full of people who live Christ for all of our children to see. And number three, the responsibility we have is to pray. Now, don't think that since this is number three, that this is some kind of an afterthought or something you do if you can't do anything else. This is our main responsibility. We must pray for the parents as they try to do their job. We must pray for the kids to come to Christ at a young age. We must pray for them as they grow to be protected from evil. And we need to pray that the Lord will call them around the world sharing the gospel. Now, this brings us to one of the most difficult responsibilities of both parents and the church. And you say, well, this is a baby dedication. Well, I'm not sure we need to go all that far out. But if we don't start at this age, if you don't put this in your mind at this age, you won't have it when we need it. We have the responsibility, both as a parents and as a church, to train our children to serve Christ. And then we have the responsibility to give them up to his service, wherever or whatever that means. We must pray them into the harvest field. It is our responsibility to train them up, and it is our responsibility to give them up to the service of the Lord. This is our responsibility as a church.